Hello and greetings from the cottage. I know that I originally committed to trying to do these every couple of weeks, and it's just been a busy year, and so I knew if I didn't go ahead and do this that I probably never would, so we'll just jump right into it. I promised in an earlier episode that I'd come back and repot some aloe vera that had been growing really well for me, so that's what we're going to do. And of course we're going to do the recycling thing as always. Speaking of recycling, there's a good example of something you can recycle real well. This is a pot that's worked well for me. All it is an ice cream bucket. Just poke a hole in the bottom, put something in it that it can drain into, and got a free pot, at least one that you've only paid for once. So I'm going to reuse some potting soil, and if you don't feel comfortable with reusing potting soil, then go ahead and buy new. But we'll jump right into this. First I want to show you that this particular plant, this one right here, see what that's grown into? It started out just like that right there, and just with a little bit of root starter, it has grown into that. You can even see the size of the pot that it originally started out as. And aloe vera is one of my favorite plants because, of course, of all you hear about the medicinal value. And it is that. I can testify to that. So we'll just go ahead and jump right into this. When you're reusing things like pots and potting soil, you want to keep half an eye out for some hitchhikers, namely spiders, particularly brown recluse or black widows. Someone asked me the other day, how do you know if it's a brown recluse? Because of course I know you've probably heard that's one of the most venomous, if not the most venomous spider in the United States. And those bad boys have a well-deserved reputation because their bites can cause necrosis. And you don't want to get that, I can promise you. And by the way, they can cause your pets a lot of grief too. The good thing about that particular spider is it is where it gets its name. It is very reclusive, and it prefers very much not to fight. It will if it has to, and most of the time when people have gotten bit by them, it's because they got pinched in some clothing or put their foot in a shoe that the spider happened to be either hunting in or making a temporary home out of. And there are two very, well, I guess you would say three, very distinctive characteristics of a brown recluse. One is it's a relatively flat spider. We do have them in this part of the country. They're a little more prolific than we would like, but nevertheless they are here. One is that they're relatively flat, and they have long skinny legs. Oh, the ones I've seen around here range about the size of a $50 to a silver dollar. And then of course any sizes below that. And a lot of you out there know that they also have an alternative name, the fiddleback or violin spider, and the reason for that is on their back they do have what is a remarkable similarity to a violin or a fiddle. And I just drew a crude drawing to kind of show you this. Make sure you can see this here. Okay, we got long skinny legs, and then of course there's the back of the spider, and right on what would be the head, you have what looks like a violin or a fiddle. And the other thing that is a profound distinction to that spider is it has 6 eyes instead of 8. And they're relatively easy to identify, and they're called dyads. Essentially you would have an elliptical shape there with 2 dots on that one. You'd have another elliptical shape right about here, 2 dots, and another elliptical shape right here with 2 dots. It's very distinctive to that spider. And you don't want to mess with those bad boys. They are difficult to eradicate, but they'll leave you alone for the most part. I've lived in peace with them for most all of my life. And I don't go out of my way to kill them. I mean, God puts them here for a good purpose. And that is to help control other insects. Okay. When you got your aloe vera and it's just looking like this, just growing like crazy, just go ahead and take it out of the pot. Let's see if I need to adjust the camera here. Bear with me one moment. A little bit like that. There's Annie's helping me out there. She'd hate for anything to be going on that she wasn't included in, and so would I. Okay, just gently break that root ball apart. By the way, those offshoots are called pups. So just gently take them apart, and the pot that you want to put them into, make sure it can accommodate the larger plant. What we'll do, see how they're intertangled here. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, right there. Okay, just gently pull those apart. And each one of those will make a good sized plant. As a matter of fact, I have a super giant plant of this in another room that is probably, I would say, between 16 and 18 years old. It's astonishing how long it's been growing. So you'll get something that looks basically like this. Just kind of clean it up a little bit there. Okay, that'll make a whole new plant. It's just going to be really vigorous. I'm going to put this in our ice cream bucket. By the way, at the end of these clips, I usually recommend, or whatever song that's touched my heart lately. In this case, I'd like to go one step further. We'll take our pup. Just kind of pick those dead leaves off there. Fill it about half full. That way you can put the root part deep down. Anyway, I'd like to go one step further and say hello to Eddie Carter, who's an associate, and I definitely would call him a friend, brother in Christ, up at 106.5, Praise 106.5 in Seattle. It's a part of the Christian Network. Wonderful bunch of people. They've been over backwards to work with me and put up with me, and that's been a blessing to me. A real blessing. Okay, we'll just set this one aside for the moment. Let's see how many more we can do. Here, more recycled items. I don't know how many times I've recycled these, as a matter of fact, a bunch. Eddie, thank you for everything that you've done for me. Help me out in my projects. A true Christian man. Kind we need a whole lot more of. Okay, here's another one. We'll go with that one. Another pup. By the way, there was the other day there was a beautiful huge brown tarantula. It was crawling up the side of the hotel like it was his business. Should have got the camera out and took some pictures of them. They're magnificent animals. I call them animals. I know they're insects, but very interesting to watch. And very docile, actually. They will bite, but only if they're very provoked to. They prefer saving their venom for their next meal. Okay, there's two. Let's just keep going. Also on the subject of aloe vera, well, I've been out cycling, which I haven't done nearly enough. certain types of cycling clothing really give me a lot of grief on irritation. And I mean really bad, to the point of just wherever they touch on the 6-hour, 7-hour, 8-hour rides, just causes a horrible rash. And I have come back just, you know, miserable. It's like a bad sunburn. Which, by the way, since this broke, we'll go ahead and show you. When I get back and I have those irritations like that, and this works on well on insect bites too, just take a leaf off of your aloe vera. And if you'll just break that open, see how juicy that is, it's almost a gel. Just rub that on where you've been maybe got even sunburn. This works great for sunburn. And believe me, it is amazing the relief that brings. It has a well-deserved reputation for, there's a little tiny pup. And we'll plant that one too, and it'll grow into one of these big plants. Anyway, you can, this one plant, I bet, let's see, we've got 3 so far, 4. This is the main plant right here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 plants. It simply started out of one, and I'm not kidding, it was this size when it started. Make them, give them to your friends, family. I've heard people say they keep them by the kitchen window so that they get a burn in the kitchen, provide some soothing relief. We'll stop there. Main thing is I wanted to get back and show you how easy this is. We recycled, which is always nice. Have a little bit of free medicine, if that's what you want to call it. It's a great holistic first aid. I don't know that I'd recommend. I don't want to recommend anything I haven't actually done myself, which was just sunburn and skin rash from, you know, lycra. Rubs people the wrong way a lot. I mean, I know it's a good material for cycling and other sports that help wick away moisture and keep you cool, but this aloe vera sure does feel good on your skin. So 106.5 in Seattle, part of the Kristen Network. Great family of people. And Eddie Carter, thank you for helping me out and being patient with me. God bless you, my friend. And until I see you next time.